I am what I like to call a completionist. When I start a task, I like doing literally every single part of it. And when that comes across in reading, it usually comes across to finishing out series and reading entire author backlists. In my reading spreadsheet, I actually have a whole sheet just dedicated to listing out every book that a particular author has ever published. And so today I want to take you through my author tracker. Okay, so we are now inside my reading spreadsheet, and this is my author tracker sheet in here. As you can clearly see, I have a column for author name, series, and book, as well as columns for if I own it, if I read it, and where to find it. So of the authors I'm tracking, so let's scroll down a little bit and look for somebody good. For example, let's go to an extreme. I've read the most books by Ruby Dixon out of, I think, any author I know. So Ruby Dixon clearly has very large series. Her first series up here is Ice Planet Barbarians, and it includes all of these books are all going to be part of that series. And so I have whether I own them based off of like Kindle or Amazon, and if I have read them. And obviously I've read all of these. She has, this one is a standalone, so it doesn't have anything in the series. These are all a different series, and I've obviously read all of these, and so you can clearly see these are the ones that I haven't read yet. So I love being able to very quickly see, like, okay, these are the next ones that I have to read in an author. So of all the authors that I'm tracking right now, let's just go through them all. I have Renee Adia. I haven't read anything by them, but I know I want to. I have Jennifer L. Armentrout, same thing. You'll notice a lot of these authors I actually haven't read yet because I'm waiting until I collect a lot more of their books, or until it just feels right in the moment. I have Victoria Aveyard and Leigh Bardugo. Again, I'm starting to collect her books. Everything you see here I get secondhand always, because these books are popular enough that I don't feel the need to buy them from Barnes & Noble or from an independent bookstore. I have a ton of Holly Black books, Carissa Broadbent. I don't own any of her books, but I really want to. We have Cassandra Clare. I've been picking up her stuff from Goodwill's and the lot for years now. Susan Dennard, Ruby Dixon, going all the way through, Grace Draven, John Gwynne, Natalie Haynes. Clearly you can see that her and Allie Hazelwood and Emily Henry here, they don't have series, they are all just standalones, but clearly I own and I've read a ton of them. Charlie N. Holmberg, read a few of hers. Erin Hunter, these are the Warrior Cats books. I really want to reread them. I didn't realize how many there are. Look how many, it's ridiculous how many there are. Sabrina Jeffries, I particularly read through an author's backlist when they are for Regency romance books, because, for example, these were her first 3 books, and then her next series is an offshoot of one of the side characters here, and then this series an offshoot of that, and so everybody knows each other, and so that's really what led me to begin these, because of these Regency romances, and I wanted to make sure that I read them in order, and I wanted to see if I could find them all, because particularly these, they are very hard to find, especially these older ones. I had to find them online, as you can see here. That's also why I have 3 shelves in my room just for Regency romance books, because you can't find them anywhere else. They're never in libraries unless they're brand new, and you just have to find them in used bookstores because they're all mass paperback books. So anyway, going down, and they also just always have a ton of people. This is all Daniel L. Jensen's work. This is Elise Kova's work. Clearly I'm working my way through hers. R.F. Kuang's, Lynn Curlin's. I have found a ton of hers over the years. Trisha Levenseller, Julia London, Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I've only read 1 book by her, but I know I want to read her entire backlist. Naomi Novik, I really want to read her first couple series. Mary E. Pearson, Julia Quinn, obviously another Regency romance book. I've found quite a lot of hers because she's become a household name, really. Rick Riordan, extremely important that I own absolutely everything that this man has ever written. I am on my way to it. And then Rick Riordan Presents, these are all the authors that he has underneath his umbrella. I'd love to read them all. Brandon Sanderson, this is also a way for me to figure out my reading order, because I know that some series, I know you're supposed to read in certain ways. I know his kind of go back and forth a little bit, so I wrote down 1 series, and I will cross-check it when I start reading Brandon Sanderson so that I can make sure that I'm reading in the right way. But clearly, some of them I know where I can get them, and then others I don't really fill them out because I either don't know or I just didn't want to put in the effort at the time. I have all of V.E. Schwab's, Gina Showalter. She's another one of those mass paperback people. She has a little shifter romance. A lot of it. Laura Thalassa, and I think, yeah, that's the last one. So when I add an author on here, this is usually when they have a very large backlist and I know that there's too many for me to just remember off the top of my head, or if I just really want to make sure that I read them all in order, or I really want to be like, all right, this is an author that means a lot to me for some reason or another, like I'm really interested in their work and I want to make sure that I read it at some point. I don't add authors all the time, but I do add them occasionally enough that I do refer back to this author tracker quite a lot. It's also a way for me to make sure that I'm reading the authors that I want to read. This was a relatively quick little tour, but I think it packs a punch and kind of shows you what my author tracker looks like. So I hope you enjoyed. I have a ton of other videos on my channel all about my reading spreadsheet. Let me know what else you want to see from it. Thanks. I'll see you next one.